Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show the steps and procedure for setting up a new Cisco SD-WAN lab. Before we start building the lab, we should be aware of some of the Cisco SD-WAN basic terminologies and its components. This is the lab topology I'm going to use, and as you can see in the top we have Vbond, Vmanage and Vsmod. These are our controllers. Your Vbond sits on your orchestration plane, and Vmanage sits on the management plane, and Vsmod sits on the control plane, and VHS in the bottom sits on the data plane. Now let's see each of the controllers properties in more detail. Your Vbond, it's actually the orchestration, and it's the first point of authentication. So Vbond is our first point of authentication. When your VHS, that is your branch router, comes online, it reaches out to your Vbond because we have a pre-configured Vbond IP address in the VHS. So when the VHS comes online for the first time, or when the existing VHS gets rebooted, it first checks the Vbond. The Vbond authenticates it and provides the list of Vmanage and Vsmod in the SD-WAN topology. Then our VHS opens the control connection with other controllers. Generally, the Vbond requires a public IP address, but it can sit in a one-to-one NAT as well. Then we have our Vmanage. It's a single pane of glass for day 0, day 1 and day 2 operation. It's used for centralized provisioning. All the centralized policies and templates we create on the Vmanage, then we push it to the VHS and Vsmod, and we use Vmanage for troubleshooting and monitoring the VHS. We use the Vmanage for software upgrades. We log into Vmanage using the GUI and with the RBAC, role-based access control. And Vmanage is where we have these programmatic interfaces for REST API calls and netconfig. Then we have Cisco Vsmod. It disseminates control plane information between the VHS. It distributes the data plane and app aware routing policies to the VHS. Whatever the control policies and data policies that we configure on your Vmanage gets pushed to your Vsmod. Like for example, if you are configuring a hub and spoke topology or multi-topology, those policies will get pushed to your Vsmod and the topology is maintained accordingly. And Vmanage takes care of distributing the OMP routes between the VHs. That is, you can see in VH1, we have 192.168.10.1 IP. When VHS comes online, it creates a OMP pair with your Vsmod. Then it advertises this route as a OMP route to your Vsmod. Then Vsmod advertises back to your VHS. So it takes care of the distribution of OMP routes between the VHS. Then in the bottom, we have VHS. These are in the data plan. VHS or the WAN edge routers provide secure data plan with the remote VH routers. The secure control plane with the Vsmod controllers exports the performance statistics to your Vmanage, leverages routing protocols like Ospf, BGP, Vrrp. Everything will be configured in your VH branch routers, and it also supports your zero-touch provisioning. That is your plug and play. Now let's see about Cisco SD-WAN VPN numbers. If you see the topology in the green, I have given VPN 512, and in red I have VPN 0, and in blue I have VPN 10. So VPN 0 is always your transport VPN, which is actually nothing but your WAN link. All your WAN interfaces will come under your VPN 0. So whenever we call or configure a VPN 0, that is always your WAN link, that is your WAN transport link. And we have another VPN, that is 512, that is your management VPN. It carries the out of band management traffic. So VPN 512 in SD-WAN, Cisco SD-WAN is always used for your management access. So VPN 0 and VPN 512 is a fixed value. We cannot change it. It should be used only for transport, and VPN 512 is used for your management. And then we have VPN 1 to 511 and 513 to 635 VPNs on VHS for your service side data traffic. That is your LAN VPNs. Like if you see each VH, I given VPN 10, it can be 20, 30. It should be anything other than VPN 0 or 512. That is used for your service VPNs. Okay, now let's talk about our overlay management protocol. You can see in the topology, the OMP protocol runs between your VHS and Vsmod and between your Vsmods. So overlay management protocol is a protocol responsible for establishing and maintaining the control plane. It's a TCP based extensible control protocol. It runs between your VH routers and Vsmod controllers, and between the Vsmod controllers inside the TLS and DTLS connections. So basically, when VH router gets a route, by default static and connected routes gets redistributed into your OMP protocol. Then OMP advertises it to your Vsmod. Vsmod exchanges between the Vsmod and also it advertises back to other VHs. That's how you get the the reachability of other VHs. You can say it's a bit similar to your route reflector kind of protocol. And the OMP route advertises the following attributes. That is, when VH, for example, when VH receives this route and advertises to your Vsmod, it goes with all this information like TLOC origin, site ID, VPN number, preference, service tag, etc. Now let's talk about the TLOC. TLOC is nothing but your transport location identifier. So TLOC, transport location identifier of the nest op of the route. It's like the BGP nest op attribute. So TLOC is basically consists of three main components. That is your system IP, color, and encapsulation type. That is how it is uniquely identified in your overlay topology. Let's say you can see in the diagram you have a system IP. So this is the VH or CH, a branch router having a system IP of 1.1.1. It has one link, that is a Metro Ethernet link, and another link which is a business internet link. So the system IP is going to be the same, and the color will be different. The color here is Metro Ethernet, the color here is business internet, and encapsulation type is IPsec. So this TLOC IP is nothing but your system IP configured in your VH. So you have TLOC IP, color, and encapsulation. All this together we call as a TLOC value. That is how we uniquely identify a particular TLOC. For example, when I advertise this route from the VH1, I advertise this route to Vsmod, and Vsmod advertises the information back to other VHs like VHS2, VHS3. So in the VH2, when I give show IP route to reach 192.168.10.1, it gives the TLOC information of your VH1. So you can see in the show IP route command itself in the VH2. So basically, we have seen what is Vbound, Vmanage, Vsmod. The Vbound sits on the orchestration plane, Vmanage on the management plane, and Vsmod takes care of your control information in the control plane, and VHS, where exactly the the data traffic is flowing between the VHS sits on the data plane. So Vbound is first point of authentication, and Vmanage takes care of all your day 1, day 2 operations, and Vsmod in the control plane, and VHS and the VPN numbers, VPN 0 for transport, VPN 512 for management, rest everything is used for your service VPNs. Then we saw about the overlay management protocol, TLOC. So this is the topology I'm going to use in the upcoming videos. First we will onboard the controllers, Vbound, Vmanage, and Vsmod. And then we will start onboarding the VHS via CLI and the device template. Then we'll keep VH2 as a hub, and we'll keep other routers as spoke, and we'll see how to configure hub and spoke topology from the Vmanage and push that policy to Vsmod. And we'll see how to leak routes between the VPNs, all the other SD-WAN features. So basically this video I've taken so that when we talk about Vbound or VPN numbers, you should be able to understand what it is actually used for. So these are some of the very basic Cisco SD-WAN terminologies that you should be aware of before start doing the lab work.
Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a Cisco SD-WAN in a lab environment. This video will be useful for those who are setting up the Cisco SD-WAN lab for the first time. And this lab I'm going to show for those who are planning to set up a lab for studying purpose. For official recommendation, look into the Cisco recommended guidelines. I have given the Cisco link in the description. You can check that. To bring up the Cisco SD-WAN setup, first we have to onboard the controllers. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is my lab topology. We need minimum one Vmont, one Vmanage, and one Vsmod controllers to bring up the SD-WAN connections. So I'm using VMware EXSI hypervisor to spin my VMs. You can see all these devices in the topology are spin across the hypervisor only. You can use any hypervisor like KVM, or you can use EVNG or GNS3, but the connectivity should be like this. All the VBond connected to one virtual switch, and that connected to an internet router. This is nothing but virtual router CSRV, and from there I connected 3 VEdge routers. This is to make sure all the devices can ping each other, like from VH1 to VBond, Vmanage, Vsmod. The IP reachability should be there. Then only the connections will come up. So to start, we have to download the software for VBond, Vmanage, and Vsmod. I'll show you where to download that. To download the software, we have to log into software.cisco.com and select SD-WAN. You can see there is a link for Vsmod software, Vmanage, and VH. You don't see a separate software for Vbond because we are going to use VH Cloud software for Vbond also. When I click VH Cloud, you can see it says this image is used for VH Cloud and also for Vbond new deployment. I'm going using a VMware image. So once you have downloaded the software and create a new virtual instances for Vbond, Vmanage, and Vsmod, and connect them the way I connected to the same virtual switch so that they can all talk to each other. And one thing to remember is the Vmanage and Vsmod, when it comes online, it comes only with ETH0/0 interface. We have to add a new NIC card, new interface for your transport VPN 0. And also for Vmanage, we have to add additional 200 GB of hard disk so that the NMS services comes up in the Vmanage. Otherwise, it won't come up. Once you add the interfaces and the hard disk, we have to reload both Vmanage and Vsmod to take effect. Now, first I'm going to log into Vmanage Console and I'm going to onboard the Vmanage. So this is my Vmanage console. This is the first time I'm logging, and you can see I'm using the software 19.2.2 in the lab environment. The default username and password for Vmanage is admin, giving the same. So when you log in for the first time, it will ask you to set the admin password. I'm giving the same password, admin. Okay, now since we have added 200 GB of hard disk, you can see the SDA 200 GB here, and we have to, it is asking to select a storage device to use, and you can see 1 for SDA, so we have to type 1 and then enter. Now would you like to format the SDA? We have to give yes and then enter. Now it will format the hard disk, and Vmanage will be coming online. So now it is formatted and it is rebooting now. Now my Vmanage is rebooting. So in the meantime, I'm going to onboard Vsmod also. You can see I'm running 19.2.2 release and entering the default username password admin. And it will ask you to set the admin password since you're logging for the first time. I'm giving the same admin for now. So now we're already inside. We just have to configure the management interface so that we'll get the SSH access. You can see right now it is down. I'm going to make it up and configure the management IP. Config T. We have to go under the VPN 5.1. Okay, you can see both are under VPN 0. So I have to remove the interface which I'm going to use for my VPN 5.1.2. So in my lab, I'm going to use ETH 0 for my management, so I'm going to remove that from my VPN 0. So first I have to we have to go inside the VPN 0, then give no interface ETH0, and now I will go under VPN 512 interface ETH0, and I will configure management IP. So now I have done my VPN 512 configuration. I called interface ETH0, given the IP address, and I have to give a default route towards my gateway. And now I can try pinging my default gateway IP. So it says by default that when you initiate a ping, it takes VPN 0. So I have to specify my management VPN. Now I can reach my gateway, so I can log into this device using SSH. We have to follow the same step for our Vbond also, so I'm not showing here. Once I log in, I will show you that. So now our Vmanage is up, logging using the admin. So now it is there. Show interface pipe tab will show you what are the interface. So you can say it's the same like a Vsmod. The VPN 0 is assigned for both interface ETH0 and ETH1. So I'm going to do the same what I did for Vsmod. I'm going to remove that ETH0 from VPN 0 and put it under VPN 512 for management, and try to get the SSH access. So you can see in Vmanage also, I logged into VPN 0. I given no interface ETH0, and I am going inside VPN 512. I'm giving interface ETH0 no shut and the IP address, and exit, and under VPN 512 I'm giving the IP route towards my gateway, and then commit the configuration. Okay, so once the configuration is committed, let's check the gateway is reachable. I have to give the VPN 512. Yeah, so now I can do the SSH access to my Vmanage also. And one more thing we have to check in Vmanage is the NMS services. Once it onboarded, request NMS status, request NMS all status. So we just have to make sure all the services are up, NMS services. Now we will log into the SSH, and we will start onboarding the controllers. So now I have logged into all the three controllers via SSH. I'm inside Vmanage now, and if you see there is no VPN 0 configuration, and as per our topology for Vmanage for VPN 0, we have to call this interface gigi0/0, and we have to give the transport IP address for VPN 0 2021.2. So that I'm going to configure now. So you can see right now the ETH1 interface, the other interface is showing down. There are only two interfaces in Vmanage. I'm going to configure it now. So first you have to go to config mode, go into VPN 0, then go to interface ETH1. It's down now, so give no shut, then configure the IP address 20.20.1. Check the IP 1.2 1.2/28. Then we have to give a default route, IP route /0. So the default route I'm giving the internet IP as the gateway IP 20.20.1.4. Now one more thing we have to do under the interface is interface ETH1. We have to enable the tunnel interface, because there will be a DTLS tunnel created between the controllers. So we have to enable the tunnel interface under the VPN 0 interfaces, the transport VPN, and give allow services all. Since it's a lab environment, I'm giving allow services, and allow services net config. So we show run VPN 0. So this is the config we have made: interface ETH0, IP address, tunnel interface, all our services, and a default route. Once done, try to ping the gateway IP, your internet IP, just to make sure the IP reachability is there. Okay, so now we have done this. I'm going to do the same thing for Vsmod and Vbond, and I'm going to pause the video to save the time. So I have done the configuration for Vsmod under show run VPN 0. You can see the interface config and default route and tunnel interface, and also all our services all. Vmanage we already done, and Vbond also I did the same. Uh, Vbond using the Vedge software, so the tunnel, the VPN 0 interface will show us gigi 0/0. The other two will be like ETH1 and ETH1, like Vmanage and Vsmod. And you have to give the tunnel interface encapsulation IPsec and allow services all. And I'm just making sure the IP reachability is there with all the controllers. 1.2 is my Vmanage, 1.3 is my Vsmod, 1.4 is my gateway. So once all the IP reachability is okay, we can log into your Vmanage via GUI and start adding the controllers into that. So now we have tested the IP connectivity in the CLI. Once that is done, we have to enter the management IP of the Vmanage in the browser and then hit enter. First time it will ask you like this, give advanced, proceed to unsafe. It will take you to the Cisco SD-WAN Vmanage console. The default username password is admin here also. You can give admin and then log in. So right now you can see there is no Vsmod, Vmanage or Vbond added. Only Vmanage is there, and that is also showing the certificate warning invalid as 1 because we have not yet installed the root certificate. So once you log into the console for the first time, let's add the Vbond and the organization name to this Vmanage. So for that we have to go inside administration settings. The first thing is the organization name. We have to enter the organization name. This is very important step. We have to remember this organization name, and we have to use this while generating the root certificate, while generating the license, and while onboarding the VHS. So we have to use the same organization name what we are entering here now. So I'm just giving SIVA 600 and then save. And the second entry is the Vbond. So I have to click edit, add the Vbond IP. So in our lab, Vbond IP is 2020.1.1. So that is 2020 or 1.1. Leave the port number as it is. It's a default port number, and then save. So Vbond IP also edited successfully. So now before we add the controllers into Vmanage, we have to configure the system configuration under the CLI. So right now if you see Vmanage show run, the system configuration is not yet done. Only the organization name we can see that we are done in the GUI and done the interface configurations. So let's log in and go into the system configuration mode, systems. The first thing we have to configure the system IP. It is the unique identifier which identifies this particular device. I'm just giving simply 1.1.1. Then the site ID I'm giving 10, and then the Vbond IP 20.20.20. Sorry, 1.1, and also give the clock. The time should be sync in all the devices, then only it will come up. The site ID for controllers we keep the same site ID, and for VHS we'll keep a separate site ID to differentiate. So I think the organization name is already there for Vmanage, so I'm not giving that. Just committing it. Show run system. You can see the system IP, site ID, organization name, and then the Vbond IP. Now let's go to Vsmod. Show run system. So here we have to configure organization name also. Into config mode. System IP I'm giving 2.2.2.2. Site ID I'm giving same 10. Org name SIVA 600. Then the Vbond IP 20.20.1.1. Then the clock. Sure, on system, just make sure the system IP, site ID, and the organization name is exactly like what we given for Vmanage SIVA 600, and then the vbond IP also same. Now let's do for vbond config t system IP. I'm just giving 3.3.3.3, site ID giving same 10, org name exactly same SIVA 600. And here when I configure vbond, when I give the vbond IP 20.20.1.1, I have to give it as local. So this is the command which actually changes this vEdge device into a vbond. So when you give local, it activates all the programs required to be as a acting as a vbond. Then commit. Show run just to make sure system IP, site ID, organization name, vbond local. And then all the other things are same. So now we are good to add the vbond and vsmod into your vmanage in the GUI. So now to add the controllers into Vmanage, go to configuration, devices, controllers, and then click on add controllers. I'm going to add Vsmod first. The Vsmod IP is 20.20.1.3.3 and username is admin. Leave the protocol DTLS and uncheck the generate CSR now. We will do it later, and then on. So Vsmod is added. Second thing is the vbond. Vbond IP we know 20.20.1.1. Username, password, admin. Uncheck the generate CSR now, and then add. Okay, so now my vbond and vsmod are added, and you can check devices, certificates, controllers. There is no certificate installed. So the next step is to generate a root certificate and install that in all the devices, and then we generate a CSR and then install the certificate on the controllers. That will be the next step. Hi guys, so in this video we are going to see how to generate a root certificate and install in our controllers. As you can see right now, there is no certificate installed in any of the controllers. If you go to the main dashboard, you can see there is no vsmod, vbond, and 3 invalid certificate options. So now we have to generate the root certificate. So this is a lab. I'm going to use the Xca software to create a new root certificate and install in our controllers. I have given the link for this download in the description. You can check it there. So once you download the Xca software and install, you will get this option. Click certificate tab and click file and open a new DB and save it in your laptop. So click on file, click on new DB, and then save it. Just give a name and then you can save it. It will ask you the password. Just set a password so that whenever you want to access the root CA DB, it will ask you to enter the same password. So now you can see all these options are active. I'm going to click on certificate again and click on new certificate. So this is the console where you are going to create the Xca certificate. So it's already selected create a self-signed certificate with serial 1, and we have to create a template for new certificate. Leave it as default CA only, don't change this. You have to keep it as default CA, and then click apply extension, apply subject, and apply all. Then you click on subject. Here you just give a name for your root certificate. I'm just going to give root CA. Just give a country name, state, and then quality. So we have to give the same organization name what we given in our controllers. Make sure you don't make any mistake in this, otherwise it won't come up. And a common name, root CA. An email address, if you want, you can give Shiva or Gmail. Any email ID you can give. So once you have entered, make sure the organization name matches and then click on generate a new key. So it just says it's going to generate a root certificate with this name and then it using the key size 2048. Then click on create. So it has successfully created the key. Now after that you have to click OK. So now this is your certificate. Now we have to install this certificate in your controllers in the CLI, also in Vmanage GUI. I'm going to show you how to do that now. Right click this certificate and then click on export, copy it in your clipboard. Now go into your controllers. This is your Vbond. Then first we have to go into the vshell. vshell, enter. You can check the path and home admin. Right now there is no root certificate, so we have to create a root certificate file here. I'm just giving a name root ca.crt. So whatever copied, I'm just pasting here. Now if you see the root certificate is there, give exit, come into the CLI mode. Now we have to give request root certificates install, give the location home/admin and then the root certificate file. So now I have installed the root certificate successfully in the Vbond. Now I have to do it in the Vmanage also. First go to the vshell, check the location, there is no root certificate, so I'm going to give cat ca.crt, paste the certificate. Now you can see the root certificate. Exit and go to request root certificate chain install/home/admin and then the root certificate. So Vmanage I have installed and then go to Vsmod again, go to vshell, check the path, no root certificate, have to create one. Paste the certificate. You can see the certificate now. Exit. Now you give request roots install home/admin. So now we have successfully installed the root certificate on Vsmod, Vmanage and Vbond. Now go to the Vmanage dashboard, go to administration and then settings. So in settings we have to go inside this controller certification authorization. In here click edit. In production use we can use the actual third-party root CA certificate. This is a lab environment. I'm going to give enterprise root CA. So here I'm going to again paste whatever we copied from our root CA cert. Don't give the set CS property now. You can just simply give import and save. So now you can say it says the controller certifying authority is enterprise. Now let's go to configuration, devices, controllers. You can see it's still the certificate is not installed because we have to generate a CSR and then install again. We have to again go to configuration, certificates. So under the controller, there are three dots in the right side you can see. You have to click this and then click on generate CSR and upload to your root CSR, that Xca software, and then get it signed. And then again we have to come here and install certificate. You can see the path also. First thing you have done, the first step is to add the device. The second step is to generate the CSR, then upload the certificate using install certificate, then update the Vbond. Update all this information to your Vbond. You can see the option here, send to Vbond. So I'm going to click generate CSR for, this is my Vmanage. You can see the three dots, click here, generate CSR. So the CSR is generated. You have to do this for Vsmod and Vbond also, and then download and save it. When you save, make sure you give the name. When you generate for Vsmod, give Vsmod, and then for Vbond, give Vbond. I'm going to say this, and later I'll tell you how to get it signed from your Xca software. So once you have downloaded all the CSR files, go to your Xca software and go to the tab Certificate Signing Request. And here you click on import and import the CSR file. I'm first doing for Vmanage, vmanage.csr, that is successfully installed. And then you have to click that. Now right click the Vmanage and there is an option to sign. Click the sign and you can see confirm this is for Vmanage, and click use this certificate for signing, that is your root CA cert, and make sure you select this option, use this certificate signing root CA, and the template for new certificate you have to click HTTPS server. Click on apply extension, apply subject, apply all. Now click on extension. In the extension you can see the range is given like days, so make it years, make it like 2 years, and here we have to give the time exactly what you see in your Vmanage. So Vmanage, the current clock is 16:49. I'll just make it to 49 and then apply. It gets applied here and then click OK. So now you can see if you scroll this, you can see the signed symbol here. So I'm going to do the same procedure for my Vsmod and also for my Vbond. So now I have successfully signed for Vsmod and Vbond also using the same procedure. You can see for all three it is showing as signed. So this tab is only for signing this request, but the actual certificate will be under certificates tab. And you can see this greater than symbol, click that. So under the root certificate, you can see the certificate, the actual certificate, signed certificate for Vmanage, Vsmod, and then Vbond. So now this we have to install in our Vmanage. So first I'm going to take the Vmanage, right click here, and then click on export, clipboard. The certificate is copied now. So now I'm in the controller certification page, and here in the top right side you can see install certificate. Click install certificate, then paste the Vmanage certificate here and then click install. So it is scheduled for installation. So once the certificate is successfully installed, you can see the status success. These are the steps, what are the things happened, and this is the task view. We have to go back to configuration, devices, certificates, controllers, and you can say for Vmanage, now we can see the certificate serial number, site ID, and also it's updated to the Vbond. So, and I'm going to do the same procedure for Vsmod and Vbond also. You have to go to Xca, and so for Vbond you can just do the right click, and don't forget you always select the certificate option. I've seen some people clicking the certificate and here they click right click and then give export, and this is not the actual certificate. If you install in the Vmanage, it won't work. You have to always click on certificate. So I'm going to do now for Vbond, right click, export, copy to clipboard, then now in controller certificates click install and then just paste it and then install. So now it is scheduled for installation. So you can see the status success. You can see the same here. Now if I go to the configuration certificates, you can see the Vbond, the host name, the system IP, and operation status, installed, site ID, certificate serial number, everything is visible now. So I'm going to do the same thing for Vsmod also now. So I have done for Vsmod. Now you can say Vbond, Vsmod, Vmanage, all showing the operation status and site ID, serial number, the system IP, all the information is fetched from your the device IP also is there, and it's in the sync status. And if you go to the main dashboard, you can see our Vsmod is added, Vmod is added, and the up arrow shows that it is installed and it is active. And right now under the certification we don't see anything invalid. Now the invalid count is 0. Now the certificates are all installed. Let's check the control connection status between the controllers. To check the control connection, go to Monitor, Networks. It will show the list of devices. Right now we have only controllers, so it is showing these three. Click on Vmanage and directly it takes you to the control connection. So it shows the control connection between Vmanage and Vbond and Vsmod is up and peering protocol retailers and the date when it came up, all the details. So now we have successfully installed the controllers and all of them came up, and in the CLI we can check few parameters like show control connections, same thing what we see in the GUI, and show control local properties. You can verify the certificate status is installed and certificate validity is valid. So this information should be there, otherwise the conversation will not come up. Same thing in Vsmod also, show control connections, show control local properties. You can say it's installed and valid. Same with Vmanage also, show control local properties, install and valid. So now in our topology we have successfully installed the three controllers, Vbond, Vmanage and Vsmod. So in the next video I'm going to show you how to onboard our Vh1 into this SD-WAN setup using the CLI mode. Guys, in this video I'm going to explain about how to generate the license and how to onboard the VH devices. First we need to log into the Cisco software portal, software.cisco.com, and once you log in you will see the screen, and click on manage smart account, and once you open create virtual accounts, click new virtual account and give the name, click private and then save. Then come back to the main page and click on plug and play connect and select the virtual account which we have created, and then click add profile. Now you can see this is the profile I'm creating for my Vbond. You can give any name here, and mandatory thing is profile name, organization name that we have created, and the Vbond IP address, and we have to browse and give your root certificate that we have generated. So I have downloaded that root certificate. You can see the message, the certificate should match either the IP or the host name specified in the controller, otherwise the SSL connectivity will fail. So this is just a review of your host name, the Vbond and IP and other thing. Now once you click done, your profile is created. Now we have to go devices and click add software devices. So here we have to give the base PID as vEdge-cloud-DNA. This is the PID name that we have to give for your vEdge cloud, what we are going to use in the lab. And I've given quantity for 7 numbers and the controller profile that we created just before. So you can see I have got like 7 serial number which I'm going to use in my lab. And click on controller profile. You can see the controller profile with the 7 devices, and I have to download this file. Click provision file, and you have to give the controller version 18.3 and newer. We are using 19.2.2, so we have to select this option. And select this option and click download and save that serial WebTila file in your laptop. So now we have generated the serial file. You can see the Vmanage is still 0. We have to download those WebTila serial files into your Vmanage. Go to configuration, devices. You can see the WAN edge list is empty. you have to upload that serial file here. Click on upload WAN edge list. I have saved in my laptop. This is the file serial file.webtila, and click this validate the uploaded V edge list and send it to the controllers. Upload. Okay. So you can see the number of V edge uploaded successfully 7. And you can see since we have selected validate and then push it to the other controllers, whatever the serial file that we downloaded, it got pushed to your Vbond and also to the Vsmod. Now let's go to devices. You can see these are the list of the VH cloud serial number that we are going to use in our lab. I am inside the VH CLI. This video demo is for the onboarding the VH using CLI manually. Now you can see I have already configured the interface for VPN 0 with IP address 30.30.1.2 and I configured tunnel interface. I'm allowing all the services since it's a lab environment, and I'm also allowing the service netconfig. And we have to give a default route pointing to my gateway 30.30.1.1. You can see that in the lab topology. This is my VH1. I have configured VPN 0 and I given this IP and a default route towards my internet router. I will also configure the VPN 10, that is your service VPN, with IP 192.168.10.1.1. So I have done the interface configurations for VPN 0, VPN 10, that is my service VPN, and I given no shut, and also for my VPN 512, which is my management VPN. So show interface 5 tab. You can see I have now the service VPN also added, and we have to verify the IP reachability first. Ping 30.30.1.1, my gateway. I can reach it, and you can see in our lab our Vbond IP address is 2020.1.1. We should be able to ping from our VH. Okay, I can ping my Vbond. 2 is my Vmanage IP. 3 is my Vsmod IP. So the VH should be reachable to all the controllers so that it can get onboarded. So interface configuration is over. Now we have to configure the system level configuration, which is important. Show run system. This is the default interface, the system configuration that comes up with vbond ztp.webtila.com. So that we have to change now. Going to system. First thing is the system IP, which is unique to this VH. I'm going to give 10.10.10.1. Then the site ID. Site ID I have to give different here other than the control whatever given. I'm going to give 11. Then important thing is the organization name. We have to give the same name here. Then the clock. So these are the system level configuration, and we have to give the Vbond IP also. One moment. Vbond is 20.20.1.1. So the system IP, site ID, organization name, then the Vbond IP. These are the minimum required configuration to onboard your VH. Let's verify that. So you can see the system IP, the site ID, then the Vbond IP, the organization name, and we have given the interface configuration already be given. And the OMP configuration will be there by default. By default, it will advertise the static and connected and internal OSPF routes into your controllers. So now we have to install the root certificate, like how we did in our controllers. So you can see right now the root certificate is not here. So I'm going to my Xca software. This is my click on certificate. This is my root certificate. When I click export my root certificate, clipboard, cat, then root ca.crt, paste the config. So now you can see my root CA here, and I'm going to install that. Path is the same. Okay, so now my root certificate is installed. Now we have to go back to our Vmanage in the WAN edge list. You can see we have to copy paste this chassis number, and we have to put the token number so that it will come onboarded. Now we have done all the configuration, but still it's not onboarded. I'm going to just check the TCP dump traffic going on gigi 0/1. That is my VPN interface. You can see my VH1 is trying to communicate with the vbond. The vbond is responding with the ICMP echo replies, but still it is not yet onboarded yet. We can confirm that. Show control connections, nothing is there. Show control local properties, you can see the certificate status is not yet installed. So actually now we have to get that the serial number and the token number from here. So I'm going to select the first one. So the first one, in the right side you can see there are 3 dots. Click that. There's an option generate bootstrap configuration, and select a cloud inet. Basically it gives you a unique user ID and the OTP. So this we have to copy and paste and activate that VH. So the command is request VH cloud activate chassis. We have to copy the chassis number here. Here, and then the token is nothing but this OTP. So now this chassis number is something we are taken from the Vmanage. It will get authenticated now. We can see that in the Vmanage. So once it comes up, we can see the state change here. So now after we are given this command request vcloud activate chassis number and the token number, we can see the state change here. The certificate is activated, and you can see instead of a token number, a serial number. Now if we go under certificates, you can see here also the VH name, the system IP, all those information has been fetched here. Now if we go to the main dashboard, okay, it is showing us down here. We'll see that. Yeah, now it got refreshed. I can see the VH count 1, and also you can see the up arrow, and you can see the total the VH inventory is 7, and I have deployed 1 now. Now we can verify the control connections from the VH CLI. Show control connections. You can see the control connection with the Vsmod and Vmanage, and second command to verify is show control local properties. You can see the certificate status is valid and installed. So that's it. So this is the procedure how to onboard your VH into the Vmanage using the CLI. Thank you. The next video I'm going to show you how to onboard using a device template, and we will use the second serial number in the list. Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to configure a device template and push that configuration template to a selected VH router. So in our topology, I'm going to push the config to VH2 in this lab. So this is my VH2 configuration. So before we push the template, we should have some basic configuration in it, like the system IP, site ID, organization name, vbond, and we need the VPN0 interface IPs and a static route towards your gateway. And like how we did for the previous onboarding, we have to install the root certificate and we have to activate this particular VH cloud routing instance to the available chassis number and the token number, so that it will get authenticated to vbond and the vmanage. So this is the minimum configuration required to get onboarded, and once we create a template, we can see the device host name is getting changed and VPN 10 also getting attached, and any other configuration that we are pushing in template, that also will get pushed to this router. So in my Vmanage, I'm going to configuration, templates. So when I go to configuration templates, I can see device and feature. Usually we create feature templates, and we select for which type of platform that you're going to use. You can see the list of feature templates that we can create. Since we're doing it for the first time, I always go to the device template and create the template and select the feature template, and we have to select the VH cloud. That is the model we have. I'm directly going to the device template because here you can see the list of feature templates that are mandatory. If you're doing it for the first time, you can directly go to the device template and you can start creating the feature template inside that. So to create the device template, the path will be configuration, templates. It's already selected as device template. You have a CLI template and a feature template. We are doing feature template in this lab, so I'm clicking feature template. Then we have to select the device model. This is a list of supported model. Since it's a lab virtual environment, we are selecting VH cloud. Then you have to name the template. Basically the template name is based on type of site. In my lab I have only one WAN interface VH router, so I'm just giving one-WAN template just for identification. I'm putting that in the template also. So first is the system template. So that is a factory default template. I'm going to change it. I'm going to create a system template. So this also I name like one-WAN-system. So you can see the symbol, a small router symbol is given here because this is device specific site ID. So when you click the drop down, you can see a global parameter and a device specific parameter. I'm not selected anything by default. The site ID comes under device specific, and system IP also unique to a particular device, so it is already selected as unique. Host name also, system host name is device specific, and I'm going to choose a baud rate of 115200, and I'm not giving any location details. I'm keeping all the set as default. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to save this. So now this is a feature template which I just got created, that is getting attached to your device template. You can see one-WAN-system. Now logging, I'm just keeping as default logging, whatever logging option is there, and I'm not touching the AAA also. I'm just leaving the default. And BFD, I'm going to create a feature template for BFD. You can just click on create template, just naming it one-BFD-template. So I'm leaving the default value multiplier 6 polling interval. I can add a color. You can choose like a business internet, and the rest of the things I'm keeping as it is, and then add, then save. So now my BFD is done, and YMP, I'm going to create a new YMP template, giving one-template. leaving these things as it is. Time as advertise. So by default, you can see static and connected is getting advertised. So I'm not changing anything. I'm going to leave as it is. Okay, so security, I'm not touching anything. I'm leaving as it is. So now we are the in transport and management VPN part. So VPN 0, we need to create a template for VPN 0 and we need to create another template for VPN interface. So I'm going to create a new template for VPN 0. So I'm going to name it -VPN 0 template. So you can see it's already selected global VPN 0. This is for VPN 0. I'm not giving any name. I'm leaving them as it is. I'm not making anything change for this. So you can see by default OMP advertisement is off on VPN 0. We are not going to advertise anything in VPN 0, and I'm not adding any network. We have to add an IP route. We have to add a default route towards your gateway. So that we need to add here. So this is nothing but what we did in CLI as a default static route. So I'm giving a default route, and gateway is nest hop. Nest hop I'm adding. So nest hop is going to be not global, device specific. So I'm selecting a particular device and give the VPN number here so that you can identify for which VPN you are adding the nest hop IP address. That is important. If you simply give VPN, you cannot recognize for which VPN you are doing this. VPN 0 nest hop IP address. Then add. And rest everything I'm keeping as it is. Save. Now you can see the VPN 0 and is added, and now we are going for VPN interface. So it's already added, so I'm going to directly create the template. So this is a VPN interface template. So it says shutdown yes. I'm giving no for global. For all the wherever we are going to apply, it will automatically shut this. And then interface in my lab, I'm going to use all the interface as gigi 0/0. I'm giving 0/0 globally. Otherwise you can do for device specific also. And the IP address in the lab we are giving statically, so again it will be device specific. And this is for VPN 0. Specify the name so that we will remember for which VPN interface we are configuring the IP address. So this is for VPN 0 interface IP address. Then tunnel showing is off. This tunnel interface we have to globally keep it on. So color is again in my lab I'm going to use BIS internet. Only one interface I have. Then control connections, the rest everything I'm keeping as it is. Allow services. So like we did allow all services, I'm going to globally give allow all services. That's what we did in CLI also. And the net config also I'm globally enabling on. Same thing what we did in the CLI. And other than that, globally I'm giving the duplex full here. The rest everything I'm just keeping as it is. I'm going to save the template. Something I have not filled in, I think. One moment. Okay, I'm not giving the description. So now VPN 0 interface VPN template and interface template both completed. Now we have to do the same for management VPN 512. I'm going to create a new one. So I have done the configuration to save the time in the video. So this is the device template. and the globally for this particular VPN is a 512 that I manually entered. And again, we are not going to do any OMP replacement in the management VPN, and I add a default gateway towards my management IP, and rest everything is same. I'm going to save it. So now we have done the VPN 512 VPN template. I am going to add an interface to that. So it's going to be a new template. So for VPN 502, the interface template I configured. Interface name globally is going to be ETH0 in VHS. So I'm given ETH0. IP address statically for VPN 512 I given. We have to configure that statically. The rest everything is same like how we created for VPN 0. Save it. Now we have done VPN 0 and VPN 512 transport and management VPN is over. Now we have service VPN, which we are not done in the CLI, so we are going to configure. In my setup I have only one interface, so just enter. It will create a VPN entry for that, then create a template. So I have completed configuring the service VPN 10 template. So we have given the VPN number 10 globally for all device where you're going to attach, and I have configured the OMP preference here, because these are the routes which will be advertised as a OMP routes. For IPv4, by default, static and connectivity is enabled. I have enabled for BGP, Ospf also, AJB also. Maybe in the future, if you are using, it will get added. And IPv6, I kept everything completely off. We are not going to use IPv6 in the lab, only IPv4. And I'm not adding any network and IP route because this is a very simple setup. Later on, we can add if we required. So now VPN 10 template is completed. Interface we have to add. Click on VPN interface. You can see it is getting added. I'm going to create a new one for VPN 10. So the VPN 10 interface template is completed. I given the name like this, and shutdown no, and interface name globally I'm going to use 0/1, and interface IP address I'm going to configure statically. That we have to give device specific VPN 10 interface IP address, you can see. And I'm not configuring anything else. Vrp we'll see in other labs. Rest everything I'm going to keep it as it is. The duplex I given full, and that's it. So now VPN 10 interface template is also completed, and these are some additional features. We are not going to do it now, and I'm going to click on create. So our device template is created now, and you can see there are totally 12 feature templates that we have used in this. If you want to see whatever we created, you can see these are the list of feature templates that we created, and one for OMP, one for BFD, one for VPN 0, VPN 0 interface. These are the templates that we are going to. You can see how many device templates this feature templates has been called. Right now it is showing only one. If you are calling this feature template on different device template, it can show the count here also. So right now you can see the device attached is 0. We are not yet attached any devices so far. And here also you can see the devices attached is still 0. And template status in SIG. So now we will see how to attach it to a VH. So in the right side you can see these 3 dots. Click there, and we can do attach devices. So I have like we already did for this one 20.20.1. I'm selecting that. These are the selected devices. I'm going to attach, and it is attaching now. Okay, so now you can see for this churches, this system IP, this host name, you can see there is nothing entered here. You have to click these 3 dots again, edit device template, So here we have to enter all the details based on our topology, and I'll show you the topology. So this is our topology, VH2, VPN 0 IP is 4040.1.2, and VPN 10 IP is 172.68.10.10.1. So now the first thing is like IPv4 address VPN 10 interface IPv4. So that is 172.168.10.1/24. 172.168.10.1/24. So I have updated the entries. So IPv4 address for VPN 10 is 172.168.10.1, and then VPN management VPN 512 IP address, VPN 0 nest hop IP address, that is this IP in internet router IP 40.40.1.1, and I have given VPN 0 interface IP, that is 40.40.1.2, then the host name, then we have system IP, and then the site ID. So now we will update this. So you can see it is fully updated. You can see the tick mark here. Now I'll give next. So it says configure action will be applied to one devices attached to one devices. You can click that device. You can have a config preview. Okay, again we have some errors. Let me check that. Okay, so the error is simply saying I have not given the /30 here when I configure the IP address for VPN 0 interface. So other interfaces are given, only for VPN 0 I have not given. So I'm just going to update, and you can see it is giving tag and then giving next, selecting the device. Okay, now I think it is fully taken. I mean the particular device has taken our device template. This is the configuration which is going to be attached to your VH. You can see the VPN 10 is getting attached, and if there is any difference it will show here. These are the differences. You can see the host name was VH, a default host name, and host name VH-2 is getting added, and the console baud rate is getting added. Whatever you see in green, these are the some configuration that is getting added using this template. Okay, so now I'm going to give configure the device. Okay, it's showing in progress. Let's see. Okay, now we can see the validation is success. Now we can see the progress. It's showing messages pushing configuration. Pre-checks on Vmanager post continue with. Okay, now the configuration has been pushed to your VH. Now we will see in the VH CLI. You can see now when I type enter, the host name got changed from VH to VH-2. That is the host name, and show interface pipe tab. Also we can see the LAN interface is also got created, this one, and show control connections. We can see the control connection is up. So whatever configuration that we pushed from the device template is added. You can see that VPN 10 also here. So now just want to see who pushed this configuration. Show configuration commit list. You can see so far we are doing the CLI and system configs. So at this timestamp we can see the configuration is pushed from Vmanage using the netconf. So now as we can see that Vmanage successfully pushed the configuration in netconfig. We'll see whether we are receiving the routes from the other VH1, that you can check and show OMP routes. Okay, so you can see this IP is the LAN IP address of your VH1 that we are getting now. So now in the dashboard, if you go, we can see two VH got onboarded, and all the control connection to that VH is up. And if we go to devices, and you can check, there are 2 VH activated and system IP CLI. And one thing you can notice here, assigned a template for the second VH. You can see the template, and it is, this mode is Vmanage mode. If you make any CLI changes and commit, it will not commit. And the first one we did via CLI, so it is showing in CLI mode. So now we will go to the device template, and we can see one device is attached to this device template, and we can see the device details also here. So with that, I will wrap up this video. So this video is all about how to configure a new device template and push it to a VH. In the next video, I'll show you how to push this device template to VH1, and how to check the control connections between the VH, and how to check the control connection between the VHS and the Vsmod. Okay, thank you. Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to add an existing VH into your device template. In our lab, you can see the second VH I have onboarded using the device template one template name, and there is VH1 we have onboarded using the CLI. So now I'm going to onboard this VH1 using the same device template, and after that you can see the mode also will change into the Vmanage mode. So for that we have to go to configuration, templates. In our lab, I have only one template. You can see only one device attached. You just have to click on these 3 dots, then you can click on attach device. So we can see VH1, this is the system IP. I'm moving it to the selected device, and then click on attach. Now you can see the template status showing grayed out here, because we have not entered anything here. You can see, so we have to just click the 3 dots and edit the template. So we have to basically fill out all the VPN interface IP address and desktop IP address. So now I have entered all the details, the WAN VPN 10 IP, VPN 512 IP, and VPN 0 IP address as per the topology we have here. Now I'm going to update this. Now you can see the status change. Now giving next. You can see the config action will be applied to one device, and you can see the device where it's going to attach. When you click, selecting the device, it's loading the preview. So this configuration will be loaded into your VH1. These are the new config and old config, the difference. So now I'm going to click on configure device. So now basically it takes you to the task view. Any task that is in progress you can see here. So the validation is success. We'll see the status. It shows you the step by step what's happening, So now you can see the template successfully attached to the device. So this is the task view basically. If you want to see the task, you can always click here in the top right side. It will show what are the tasks active and what is completed, everything here. So now we'll go back to the devices. You can see the device VH1 also is in Vmanage mode, and that is also assigned with the same template. Now we will go to configuration, templates. You can see under templates, the device attached, the count is 2 now. You can see what are the devices that got attached also. So now we will see the control connections of these 2 VH devices. Go to monitor and click networks. It will show the list of devices in your Vmanage. I'm going to select VH1 just to make sure after attaching the device template, all its control connection and data connections are up. Click on control connections. You can see the VH1 system IP with this particular site ID. Have the control connection up with your Vsmod and Vmanage. Control connection is always shows DTLS, and data connection we can see up now, WAN tunnel. If you click, this is the data plane connection. You can see the protocol IPsec. IPsec is used for your data plane. This is between your VH1 and VH2. You can see that also state up. Then if you want to check the real-time outputs, you can go to real-time. The show commands which you run on the CLI, you can check here itself. You can check the OMP routes. What are the OMP routes we advertised and received? So OMP received routes you can check. Do not filter. Okay, so you can see the OMP routes that is getting received from your peer 172, 168, 10, that segment. And also if you want to check other outputs, we can check here itself. Show control connections, we can check here. The control connection is up. And IPsec, inbound connections. We have one device that is also up, and all the other information. On outbound connection, you can check IPsec. Outbound connection. This also you can say. And other than that, we can check the interface statistics. How much traffic going in the last 24 hours for this particular interface. So that's it. So now we have added a new device in our existing device template. And hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to add a new configuration to your VH devices using a device template. So right now we have two VH in our lab. So the config changes I'm going to do on the device template will be attached to them both. Go to configuration, templates, and click on the right side. You can click edit. So this is in this lab I'm going to add a new Ntp server configuration. I'm going to create a new template. So you're going to add a new server. It's going to be global for all the devices. I'm not giving an authentication key, and the version I'm keeping as 4, and I'm going to give globally, prefer this. So the IP, the version, and the preferred, and then the source info also globally. I'm going to give gigi 0/0. So you can see this is added, and I'm not giving any authentication. I'm going to save this. So now in my device template, the Ntp configuration is added. I'm going to update my device template. I'm going to give next. You can say it says configure action will apply to two devices attached to the same device template. And when I click the VH name, VH2, it gives the preview. And you can see the Ntp configuration is added, and that will be the configuration difference also. Same thing with the VH1. You can see the same. So now I'm going to click configure devices. It's just asking us that this change is going to affect the two devices. Do you want to confirm? Confirming that. Okay. So now we are in the task view. You can see the active task, what's happening. push future template configuration. The validation is success. It is pushing the configuration now. Okay, this one is success on VH2. VH1 still in progress. Okay, so that is also done. So now let's confirm that in the CLI. Show configuration commit list. You can see the config, the last config done with Vmanage using the net config, and we can also check the same show config commit changes. It will show the list of changes happened. I'm going to check the last one, 0. You can see it is adding this Ntp configuration. Same thing we can check here. Show configuration commit list. The last config change by Vmanage. What change it did, we can check that also. Ntp server. So like this, we can use your device template configuration to push configuration to all your VHs. Imagine if you have like 1000 VHs and
enter the device template values using a CSV file. In my previous videos, I have showed you, when you attach a device template to the VHs, while attaching and applying them, we enter the VPN interface IP addresses, desktop IP addresses manually. In this video, I will show you how to do that using the CSV file. So this is the topology I have for this video. I have the controllers in the top. I have VH1, VH2, VH3 and 4, and also I have VH22. So in this lab we will attach one common device template to VH1, 2, 3 and VH22, and while we need to enter these WAN IPs, this service VPN IPs, using the CSV file. This is my Vmanage dashboard. Let's go to the devices. So you can see in the top I have 4 VH cloud. I have VH1, 2, 3 and 22 as we saw in the topology, and you can see all 4 of them in CLI mode, and right now there is no device template attached to them. I have created a device template. Let's go to templates. So I have this template, all VHS new template. Right now it is not attached to any devices. I will show you how to attach to all 4 devices at the same time. The right side you have these 3 dots, just click that and click on attach devices. That we have to select VH1, 2, 22 and VH3. So all 4 of them I'm going to attach the same device template. I'm going to click on attach. So now you can see in the left side all grayed out because the details are not entered. So usually we go to this right side 3 dots, click edit device template, and we enter all the interface name, desktop IP addresses manually. So if you have like 3-4 devices, you can one by one manually can do. Let's say you have you have to do it for like some 100-200 VHs. It will be difficult to do it manually. In that case, we have to use this CSV file. So to upload the variables, the interface IPs, desktop IP addresses, all this information, you can see it's all empty here. Like desktop IP, interface name, interface IP addresses. If you want to enter those details using the CSV file, you have to click on this download button. You can see the template.csv file getting downloaded. Okay, so now if you see, it starts with the device ID. That is nothing but your serial number for each device. For VH2, VH1, you can see a unique chassis number is there. So that will be your device ID, and the system ID, the host name I already entered while I onboarded using the CLI, so it is already there. Otherwise it won't be there. You have to enter that manually. And you can see VPN 10 interface name. This is the physical interface name that we have to enter here for VH2. And you can see the next option, VPN 10 interface name, interface. For this particular interface name, whatever I given here, that entry for IP address should be entered here. Same thing. So this is VPN 512 default root nest hop IP address. So whatever nest hop IP address we need to enter, we have to enter here. And VPN 512 interface name, VPN 512 interface name, and for that particular interface name, whatever we entered here, corresponding IP address should be entered here. And then we have this is for VPN 0 nest hop IP address. And then VPN 0 interface name, the physical interface name. And then for the particular physical interface name, corresponding IP address should be given here. So let's start entering the values for VH2, starting with VPN 10 interface name. So if I check in the CLI for VH2, show interface pipe tab, the LAN interface VPN 10 interface is gigi 0/1. So I'll give here gigi 0/1. That is the interface name, and the IP address is this one, 192.168.20.1. Enter it here. Then I come into VPN 512. So VPN 512, this table is for the nest hop IP address that I have given already. And then VPN 512 interface number. Interface number for 512, this is ETH0. And then the VPN 512 interface name, IP address. IP address is this one. We have to put it including the slash notation, /24. Then we come to VPN 0 nest hop IP address. So if you see the topology, the VPN 0 IP is 30.30.1.2/30. The nest hop IP will be 30.30.1.1. So that will be 30.30.1.1. It's a nest hop IP address, so I'm not giving any slash. And then the interface name. Interface name, we can get it from here, is gigi 0/0. Then I have the interface IP address. Interface IP address, you can see 30.30.1.2/30. So the system name, this is the host name, and the system ID, system IP, everything is already there because I already onboarded it using CLI, so it's taken from that. If you're not onboarded using CLI, these entries will be empty and you have to enter that manually. So I'm going to stop the video and going to enter all the other VHS details here. So I have entered all the interface name, IP addresses for all the VHS that we are going to apply the CSV file. You can just quickly confirm the same from the topology also. So that for VH2, the VPN 0 interface IP is like 40.40.1.1. That is the nest hop IP, which is this one, 40.40.1.1. Then we have VH1, that is 30.30.1.1, 50.50.1.1 for VH3, and 42.40.1.1, that is for your VH22. Same with the interface IP also, which we can confirm here, 40.40.1.2 for VH2, 30.30.1.2 for VH1 50.50.1.2, that is for VH3 42.42.1.2, that is the WAN VPN 0 interface IP address for VH22. So we have to make sure all the fields are entered here, interface names and everything. We can just quickly verify. We can just save it. So in the CSV file, if you see in the top, whatever values that you kept empty when you creating the device template and feature template, only those values will be entered here. So for each device template, this CSV file variables, the parameters might be different, so we have to keep that in mind. So now we will go back to our Vmanage. You can see the left side still grayed out because the entries are not there. I'm going to click this upload button and download that CSV file that we just created. So here you can see upload CSV file. You have to click on choose file and then upload the template that we just created and entered all the details. So this is the file I have chosen, template.csv. You can see it's in a CSV format. You can click on upload. It just got uploaded. So once I click on upload, you can see all the device parameters has been entered, which you can see here itself, the interface IP address, the desktop IP address, interface name, everything is entered now. And you can see in the left side everything in green in tick mark. So we can just click on next. You can see this device template, all VHS new is going to get applied on VH2, 1, 3 and 22. So when I click configure, it will start pushing it. Committing this config changes, it's going to get applied on 4 devices. That's what it's saying. I click on confirm. Okay. So it is scheduled now. So it's in progress for all the 4 VH devices. So the current state, you can see the pre-checks on Vmanage have paused, continuing with pushing configuration to the devices. Okay, now we can see it's completed, pushing to all the devices, all 4 devices. You can see it's success now. And one thing I wanted to tell is like, so like I said earlier, we were able to see the host names corresponding to these device IDs or chassis number or serial number. Because I already onboarded them, so it is matching. There are scenarios where the particular serial number is not onboarded or mapped to a particular VH. Let's say, for example, all these 4 devices I'm onboarding for the first time. You won't see this host name; it will be empty. You have to go to Vmanage, check on these devices. You have to select for which chassis number, what is the particular device that you are going to enter these values, and you have to give the name and all the other IP addresses accordingly. So that you want to keep in mind. So now we can go to the Vmanage and we can just quickly confirm whether all the VHs are showing Vmanage mode. Yeah, you can see VH1, 2, 3 and 22. It's all in Vmanage mode and it's all assigned with a template, all VHs new template. So that's the procedure, how to enter the device template parameters and its values using a CSV file. Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to onboard Cisco CH in our SD1 topology. In the lab I'm going to use CSR1KV virtual router. So this is the topology that we are continuing in the lab, and you can see in the right side I'm adding CH4, and I'm going to connect to the internet router so that it can communicate to your controllers. So you need to download the software for your CH. I'm using CSRV iOS Xca SD1 image 16.12.3. So I'm going to use this OVA file since I'm using VMware Xca server. So before we onboarding, we have to download the serial license file for CSR1KV. The licensing steps and procedure is exactly same which I described in my previous video, licensing for VH. The only difference is when you go to a plug and play portal and when you click on the devices and when you click on add devices, add software devices, you give base PID value for Vedge Cloud. Instead of that, you have to give CSR 1KV, and you have to select the same vBond profile. Then only it will accept in the Vmanage. If you have not seen the video about how to generate the license and download in the Vmanage, I have given the link for that in the description. You can check that. So this is our Vmanage. I have already downloaded the serial file for our CSR 1000V. You can see there are 3 serial number which I downloaded. So I'm going to use the first one for our CH4 onboarding. And now we are ready to configure the CLI. I'm going to show the onboarding procedure for CH4 in the CLI mode. So this is our CH4 CLI. You can say show platform, show version. So this is the iOS, Cisco iOS Xca SD1 image. So you have to, when you give show run, this is the default config in the router. And if you want to check the SD1 config, you have to give show SD1 running configuration. So all your system configuration, tunnel interface configuration will go under this. So you can say the SD1, under SD1 OMP, all these things there. So let's check what are the interfaces are there. Show IP interface brief. This is the Cisco iOS Xe image, so I'm giving show IP interface brief. So one interface I am already using for management, and I'm going to use Gigi 2 for my transport VPN, and I'm going to use Gigi 3 for my service VPN. That is my LAN interface. And one more thing to note here is when you give config space T, it won't take. You have to give config -transaction, then only it will go for the config mode. So let's configure the interface. Interface gig 2, giving no shut. The IP address 60.60.1.2. You have to give the mask like this, like how we give in iOS. So I'm going to configure default root. So the saving option is you have to give commit. IP root 0.0.0. So now we have to configure a tunnel interface, and we have to call the physical interface under that. I'm going to call it tunnel interface 1, no shut, IP unnumbered. So the tab doesn't work, you have to type it. Tunnel source. And then tunnel mode SD-WAN. Let's commit this. Okay, so we have to configure the SD-WAN config also. So I'm going under configuration, we have to give SD-WAN. So under SD-WAN, you have to configure the interface gig. So again, I have to type it gigabit Ethernet 2, then the tunnel interface, and after that you have to give allow services like how I given in my previous videos. Allow services all. Then I give the allow service for net config. Then encapsulation is important. You have to give encapsulation IPsec. And you also mentioned the color which I used in my lab biz internet. Let's see, I can commit now. Yeah, now I'm able to commit. Now we will configure the system parameters. So for system parameters also, like a system IP, site IP, organization name, so all these details you have to go to first config mode, then you type SD-WAN. Under SD-WAN you give system IP. Okay, I have to give system system IP site ID. I'm gonna give 14 for this one. Org name, same name. Vmana IP 2020.1.1. So this is our system config under SD-WAN. Now let's verify the config that we have done. Show IP interface brief. So WAN interface IP I have configured. Tunnel interface is also there, and show SD-WAN run. You can check the SD-WAN configuration we have done. So that in the top you can see the system details, system IP, system ID, organization name, Vbound IP, and then your SD-WAN config. Here is our SD-WAN config, SD-WAN interface name, tunnel interface, encapsulation, color, allow services, all. So now we have to install the root certificate. I have already copied it, so it will be under location dir boot flash. Okay, I have to give include. So this is my root certificate. I'm going to install the root certificate. So the command to install the root certificate is request platform software SD-WAN root certificate chain, then install the location boot flash colon certificate. So request platform software SD-WAN root cert chain, install the location, and then enter. So now the root certificate has been installed. Now we have to onboard this, like how we onboard by using the chassis number and the token. So I'm going to use the first CSRV. So in the right click, generate a Bootstrap config, cloud inet. So this serial number I'm going to configure chassis number and the OTP. So the command is pretty much same, request platform software SD-WAN you have to include. After that it's vhcloud activate chassis, the same command. So chassis number, then the token, so I have given the token. So I have entered it. So now you can see the status is showing a Bootstrap configuration generator. So we'll wait to see. Okay, now you can see the status is changed to CSR generated. Soon it will come like this. Okay, now we can see the CSRV is onboarded. You can see it's showing us a router here. We have not given any host name so far, so it's showing us a router name. So now I'm in the CLI. I'm going to configure the router name, config-t. Host name I'm going to give ch-4 and then commit. Then we'll see whether it is getting changed here. So now we can see the router name also changed to ch-4 and it is in sync. Let's go to monitor networks. and ch4, let's check the tunnel. Okay, so the tunnel is up between all the other V edges, and we also check the control connections. So the control connection with the Vsmod and Vmanage is also up. So if you go to the main dashboard, we can see, so totally we have 5 WAN edge now, including the V edges. So you can see the version 16.12. So now let's go to the CH and just check show SD-WAN OMP routes. So you don't see any OMP routes because we have not configured the LAN interface. Show IP interface brief. If you see that the gig 3, I have not had to configure anything. So we have to configure that now. Okay, you have to give config -t. So I have configured the gig interface 3 with the IP address 160.10.10.1, and next thing is like we have to call a VRF definition. I mean, you have to create a VRF and call a VRF forwarding under this interface. And remember that we have to use the same VPN number that we used for our service VPN in other VHs. So there we have used a VPN 10, and here we have to call it as a VRF 10. So if you give any other number other than 10 like 11, 12, then LAN to LAN connectivity will not work. So I have configured VRF definition 10 and given the RD 1:10, and you have to give address family IPv4 and then commit. Now I have to go to the interface. Interface gig 3 is my LAN interface, and I have to call this VRF forwarding 10 and then the commit. So now we can check the routes. When you give show IP route, you won't see that. You have to give show SD-WAN OMP routes. Here you can find the routes that you are receiving from the other VHs. So you can see that we are receiving from VH2 that we are using 172.168.10. So like that the entry goes. So you can also give show OMP peers. So from Vsmod we are receiving 4 routes. So you can go to this is VH1. You can just give show IP route. You can see my CH route here coming from 60.60.1, and I can try to ping that IP using VPN 10. I can ping. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add your CH router into a device template. So this is the lab topology. The CH4 is on the right side. I have already onboarded this using CLI mode. In this video, we will add this CH into a device template. CH is nothing but Cisco iOS Xca SD-WAN image running router. In the lab, I'm using CSR V1000. This is my Vmanage dashboard. I have already onboarded one CH using the CLI method. You can see it is up. Right now it is in CLI mode. Once we add a device template to this router, it will be showing Vmanage and also the assigned device template we can see here. So let's go to configuration, click on templates. Right now in device template, I'm creating a new device template. So in the lab we have CH, that is CSR 1000V. So the system logging, AAA, everything I'm keeping the default. I'm going to change on this VPN templates under transport and management VPN. I'm under VPN 0. I'm creating a new one. The VPN number is already there, 0. Running a default route. The next hop will give it a device specific. VPN 0 next hop IP address. We have to click on add here so that it gets added. Rest everything I'm keeping as it is. So now I'm going to configure VPN 0 interface template. So the interface name, as you can see here, these values will be different than what we have in our CLI. You can see it will be giving in this format, gigabyte Ethernet and then the interface number. So the VPN 0 I'm going to use gigabit Ethernet 2. So we have to make sure that we give the exact interface name. So the interface name, this is for VPN 0 interface, so I'm giving here itself gigabit Ethernet 2, or we can make it device specific also. I'll just make it CSR, just give VPN 0 interface, VPN 0 interface name, and IP address also be give device specific. That is VPN 0 interface IP address. Then you have to make the tunnel globally on. Color, we can give the business internet. And globally I'm giving allow services all. Net config I'm giving globally on. SSH also making on globally. Rest of the features I'm just leaving it as it is. I'm not changing any difference in that. So the transport and transport VPN we have done, and we have this management VPN, VPN 512. I'm creating a new template for that. So here we change the VPN number 512. Then we add a default route. Click on Nestop. So globally I'm using the same Nestop for my management, so I'm giving the IP only here directly. So click on add. So it's added. Rest everything we keep same as it is and click on save. Then the management VPN interface I need to add, creating a new one for that as well. So globally make it no shutdown. Interface we give device specific. This is for VPN 512. Interface name then the IP address, device specific, VPN 512 interface IP address. Rest everything as it is. I'm not making any changes. So the transport and the management VPN interface is done. Let's add one service VPN, getting a new one. So I'm going to give the VPN number 10 here. Then here we need to redistribute the OMP static connected OSF external, because this is a LAN VPN, service VPN. And that's it. I'm not adding anything else. We just given a VPN number, that is 10, and it just advertises the OMP to take connected Ospf external. Rest everything is same. So now the VPN 10 service VPN interface template we have to creating a new one. So shutdown globally, no shutdown a given interface, again VPN 10 interface name, then VPN 10 interface IP address. So no tunnel, no NAT. So we leave other stuff as it is, and then save. So that's it. Only the transport and management VPNs we have created. Now I'm going to click on create. So here is a new template, CSR CH4 with 12 feature templates. So this one now I'm going to attach to my the CH4, that is this router. So we need to click on this edit device template to enter the values. So first it's asking for interface name for VPN 10. So we have to make sure we have to give the exact interface name. So VPN 10, I'm going to use a gigabit Ethernet 3. So this is interface name for VPN 10, that I've given exactly same name here, and its IP address I'm going to give 160.10.10.1/24, and then interface name for the management. So for management I'm going to use gigabit Ethernet 1. And its address, it's already there, 98/24. Then we have VPN 0 nest hop IP address. So that would be like we have 6060.1.2 in our WAN interface. So that would be 6060.1.1, and the interface name is this one, gigabit Ethernet 2, and the address is this one, 6060.1.2. /30, the WAN interface. Host name, right now the host name is router. I'll just name it to CH4, System IP is it's already there. This is Sd1, and site ID I'm just going to give 400. So that's it. I'll click on update. Now you can see the status with the green tick mark. Click on next. So now let's see the config difference. You'll see many. As this is the first time I'm attaching the template. The host name is getting changed. You can see the host name is getting added ch4. You can see this 160.10.10.1 on Gigabit Ethernet 3. This LAN interface is getting added. So that's it. I'm going to click on configure this device. The validation is success. Right now it's pushing the configuration. Yeah, the configuration is successfully pushed to your CH4. Now we'll go to the devices. Now we can see the router name, the host name that we given CH4, it is there, and the mode has changed to Vmanage mode, and the device template assigned we can see, and you can also see earlier the router was showing the router as the host name. So after the device template got pushed, we can see the new router name also here. Show SD1 control connections, we'll see. Yeah, after pushing the device template, we just have to make sure the control connections came up with the Vsmod and Vmanage, and show SD1 control local properties. Now the state is up. Now we can check whether we are receiving the routes from other VHs. Show IP route Vrp 10, that is our LAN VPN. So we can see whatever you see under M, it's all getting received from your remote VHs. M is nothing but your OMP routes, you can see here. So after adding the device template, these three commands we can run and confirm it whether all things came back up normal, like show SD1 control connections with Vsmod and Vmanage. The state is up now, and show SD1 control local properties. So it gives you the certificate status install valid and also the state up. And we have to confirm whether we are receiving the routes for our Vrp 10 from your remote peers through OMP. Now let's go back to our Vmanage. In Vmanage, under templates, we can see this CSR CH4 template. You can see device attached, the new device that we just added. You can see that here. Also we can go to monitor networks, and you can see CH4 here. We can check the same commands here also in real time, like routes, IP routes. All the routes that we are learning from remote VHs we can see under OMP. Control connections we can see with Vsmod and Vmanage. State is up. So now we have successfully added the CSR 1000V, our CH4 router, into the Vmanage. So that's the procedure how you can create a new device template for CH routers like CSR 1000V. In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure OSPF in one of the VH router from the Vmanage using the device template. So this is our lab topology. I have onboarded VH3 in our existing setup, and if you see, this VH3 is connected to one LAN router, and that router having IP address 20.2. So I have already configured the OSPF in this router, and in VH3 I'm going to show you how to configure the OSPF. So this is my LAN router. We'll check the OSPF configuration. Show run partition router OSPF, process number is 100. So this is my OSPF configuration. So this is the IP 20.2 configured in Gigi2, and right now there is no OSPF neighborship, you can see. And now in VH3, if you check show run VPN 10, there is no OSPF configured here, and show OSPF enable, there is no OSPF configured. And if you check the packet capture, and you can see you will be getting the OSPF hello packets from 20.2, that is your interface IP here. So now we have to configure OSPF in VH3. I'll show you that now. So this is our Vmanage dashboard. You can see I have added 3 VHs. So in previous lab I showed you adding this VH1 and 2. 3 has been added, and this third router which we add, that also using the same device template. You can see VH1, 2 and 3, and they are all using the same device template, 1.1 template. So now if you want to configure OSPF, let's say if I configure this in this device template, WAN template, it will get applied to all the 3 devices. So our requirement is to add OSPF only for VH3. So I have to create a new device template, and in that template I will configure OSPF, and I will attach that template to VH3. So that I'm going to do now. So first I'm going to configure a future template for OSPF, then we can call that. So I'm going to give add template. I'm going to select the device, VH Cloud, and I'm also selecting for CSRV, so I can use it for both. So now if you see, these are the list of future templates that we can use. Basic information with NTP system, OMP, VPN, and under other templates you can see option for OSPF as well as for BGP. So I'm going to select OSPF. So you can see device type CSRV also for VH Cloud. So I'm going to simply give the name OSPF template 1. I have to give the description. So router ID, I'm going to keep it device specific, and this distance I'm going to keep the same, 110. And so under redistribute, I'm going to do the redistribution, and that is for globally for the protocol OMP. So whatever routes that we receive from other VH, that will be coming via OMP, and that we have to redistribute into your router. I'm going to click add. Okay, so that is added, and max metric I'm not touching anything. So area we need to add. So globally I'm giving area 0. Area type, if you want to change, you can change. For stub analysis I'm giving default, it will be broadcast. And interface we have to add the interface. So our LAN interface for services VPN 10 we given Gigi 0/1. So that I'm going to add. So that also I can give device specific. hello interval, dead interval, I'm giving as it is. Under advanced, you have option for authentication and all that we are not adding, leaving default only. So range, I'm not giving anything. So advanced reference bandwidth, I'm leaving 100. It's a default value. So I think that's it. We'll save this. So now I'm going to create a new device template for putting Ospf into your VH3 template. I'm going to create this for VH Cloud. I'll just give the VH3 name only. So now I'm going to create a new device template, VH3 Ospf. I'm going to use the existing future templates in this device template. So for system I given already BFD, OMP, VPN 0 template, VPN 0 interface template, VPN 512 template, interface template, then VPN 10, the service VPN template, and VPN 10 interface template. The only thing new I'm going to add here is the Ospf. So Ospf template, what we created now, I'm just adding it. The rest everything I'm giving as it is. Update. So now VH3 Ospf template, I'm going to attach a device. That is my VH3. So it is asking us to enter the details. Click here. It is device template. So we have to give the router ID. I'm going to give the interface IP address only 20.1 and the interface name. Interface name Ospf interface name is gigi0/1. So rest of the things, since we already onboarded this VH3, it takes from there only. Giving update. So now we can see the status green. Giving next. So we can see under VPN 10 the router Ospf configuration is getting added. Config difference, we can check Ospf configuration getting added here. I'm going to give configured now. So now it is getting configured. So our new device template is successfully pushed to your VH3 now. You can see now VH1 and 2 in the first device template that we created, and VH3 is with the new device template that we created. Now let's verify the Ospf. Go to monitor networks. Going to select VH3. I'm going to real time. Just type Ospf. So whatever Ospf commands that we can run, you can see here. You just have to type Ospf. I'm going to check Ospf neighbor. Okay, I can see the Ospf neighbor came up. It's in full state. And Ospf interfaces gigi0/1, and then Ospf roots. Not filter. So these are the list of Ospf roots that we are getting. Network external, these are redistributed roots. And also you can check Ospf database. So now we will see in the CLI also. Now I'm in VH3, show Ospf neighbor. I can see the neighbor is up, and show IP. Sorry, show IP root. You can see the Ospf roots that we are getting 10.2.2, 10.3. So these IPs we are getting from Ospf. And in our LAN router also we can check show IP. Ospf neighbor came up. So now I'm going to VH1, and there also I can see show IP root. So the 10.1, 10.3 IP is coming from OMP, and that is coming from the TLOC IP 3030.1. That is my VH3, where we are advertising the Ospf. So that's the end of the video. So this is how we configure Ospf using the device template. Thanks. How to configure BGP in Cisco SD-WAN. So this is our existing topology. So I'm going to configure BGP in VH3 under the services VPN, that is your VPN 10. So this is our LAN VPN. So I have already configured OSPF between this VH3 and this router, which is a LAN router, CSRV virtual router. So now over that I'm going to configure a BGP between them. So to configure BGP, we have to configure the feature template. I'm going under configuration templates. We can go to feature templates, then click on add template. I'm going to do it for VH Cloud. And after that you can see under the other templates, you can see the BGP. I'm going to give the name BGP template 1. So first are the basic configuration. This given no shutdown. AS number is device specific, it's already given. Router ID, again I'm going to make it device specific. I'm going to make it for VPN 10. And propagate AS path, it's always better to propagate the AS path, so I'm giving that. And read under this unicast address family, you can see redistribute. So I'm going to click on new redistribute. Globally, I'm redistributing all the OMP routes. I'm not giving any route policy. I'm going to click add. So under neighbor, I'm going to add a new neighbor. Again, it's going to be device specific for your VPN 10. Again, remote device, by default it is already taken device specific. And you have other advanced options also there, like nest hop self. I'm going to give globally nest hop self on. Send community, I'm just leaving as it is. Source interface, I'm not changing anything, I'm leaving as it is. If you want to set eBGP multi-hop password, all the things you can change here. So I'm not doing anything here, I'm just making nest hop self only under the advanced option, and then clicking add. And that's it. So I'll just give you a quick view what we have done. So AS number was already there, router ID we given device specific, AS path propagate I kept it on, and under address family unicast under IPv4 I clicked on the redistribute, and then we are redistributing the OMP routes that we receive from our OTA network. And then under neighbor we added one neighbor for VPN 10 that we will enter when it's asking the details. Rest everything is same, hold timer 180, keep alive 60. That's it. I'm going to save this now. So our feature template is saved, BGP template 1. Now we go under the devices. You can see VH3 OSPF template. This is the template we used for VH3. You can say VH3 site ID 13. So under this we can simply add BGP. I'm going to edit this template and click on the service VPN because we are going to enable BGP there. And you can see it is already having OSPF. I'm going to click on additional VPN templates BGP. So click, we already created this BGP template just now. Select that one and then update. Now you can see it's grayed out because we have to enter the details, and these 3 dots, click and then edit device template. Only the BGP related things will be there. So I'll just show you what is the BGP configuration on the LAN router. Show run partition router BGP. The AS number I given is 65511. So this is our BGP configuration. Show IP interface brief. So my local IP is 192.168.20.2 and my neighbor is 20.1. That is my VH3 LAN interface IP. So now I'm configuring in this template is for VH3 and is asking the AS number. So AS number is same, it's IBGP session, so 65511. Router ID, I'm going to give my own interface IP, so that will be this one, 20.1. That is the interface IP in EVH3, and this is the address BGP VPN neighbor address. So the neighbor address will be my interface, I mean this LAN router interface IP, that is 20.2. That will be 20.2. And then the remote AS, that is also 65511. So that's it. I've given the AS number and then the BGP router ID, neighbor address, and the remote AS number. I'm going to update this. So now we can see the green check here. I'm going to give next. Click on it's getting applied to VH3. We'll wait and see what is the config difference. So I'm going to config diff. So under VPN 10, we can see already router Ospf is there. I'm just adding a BGP 65511 router ID, propagate AS, address family, redistribute OMP, and then the neighbor 20.2 no shutdown, remote AS, nest of self. So this is the config we're going to push to VH3. I'm going to click on configure. So it is pushing now. Yeah, now you can see it is successfully pushed the configuration. So now I'm in the LAN router. I'm just checking the show BGP summary. I can see the neighborship has come up and show IP BGP, and you can see this 192.168.10.1 is my VH1 IP, and this VH2 IP, and this is my CH4 IP. All I'm receiving under BGP now. So now let's go to VH3. I'm just checking show BGP neighbor. Now we can see the entry is there. So now I'm in the LAN router. So I have these loopback interfaces, and I have redistributed the directly connected routes into our BGP, and we can also see those routes are getting learned in VH3. In the CLI we can see that is coming from the nest of 20.2. This is just to make sure the BGP session is up and it is exchanging the routes via BGP. So now let's verify that in the Vmanage also. Going to monitor networks, going to VH3, I'm going to the real time. So here let's type BGP, all the BGP related outputs will come here. So BGP routes, okay, we can see all the BGP routes coming from our LAN router, we can see here. BGP neighbor also will come. Yeah, we can see the BGP neighbor messages. State is established. So that's how we configure a BGP in Cisco SD-WAN. In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure Vrrp in our existing lab topology. So this is a topology. Earlier videos, if you've seen, we have onboarded VH1, 2, 3, and for 3 we have configured Ospf. So now I have added a new VH, that is VH22, and I placed a nest to VH2. So between these two routers, VH2 and VH22, we are going to configure the Vrrp. So in our Vmanage, in the dashboard, we can see now we have 4 WAN edge routers. If you go to devices, you can see I have onboarded VH22, and that is also under the same the template which I created earlier. So now to onboard the Vrrp, first we have to configure a future template for Vrrp. So go to configuration, go to templates. I'm going to first create a feature template, then we'll open a new device template and we attach to that. First I click the feature, then add template. So this feature template I'm going to apply only for VH Cloud, and like how we have for Ospf and BGP, there is no separate template for Vrrp because that will be coming under the interface configuration. So we have to configure VPN interface Ethernet. So first thing is we have to name it. I'm going to name VPN 10 Vrrp template. So I'm going to give VPN 10 for all my service VPN. So just to remember, I given VPN 10. And first thing is globally, I'm not shutting down, giving unshut. Then the interface name, I'll give a device specific VPN 10 interface name. Then IP address, I have to give device specific VPN 10 again. Then rest everything I'm keeping as it is. So here you can see an option for Vrrp. Click on new Vrrp. Group ID, let's give a device specific only VPN 10. And the priority is 100 default, timer 1, and IP address. This is a VIP address. I'm just giving device specific. So in Vrrp group ID, if you want to give globally you can give, or device specific you can give. So only two things we have changed is the group ID and the VIP address, and then click add. And then shaping and all, we are not touching anything, leaving as it is. Rest everything is same. Only duplex, I'm going to globally give it full duplex. The rest everything is all same. So I'm going to save this. So we can see the newly created yeah, we can see it is there, VPN 10 Vrrp template. It is not attached to any device now, device templates. So now next thing is to add a new device template, because if I add the Vrrp to existing template, it will get attached to all the VH devices where the device template is attached. So I'm going to create a new device template that is for your VH cloud. So I'm going to name it VH Vrrp for 2 and 22. These are the two sites we are going to attach. So we can use the existing templates, PFD, IMP, VPN 0 and VPN 0 interface. Add a new VPN 512 interface. So only the new thing we are going to add, new template, feature template that you're going to add is here. So I have to add a VPN interface. So this is under service VPN for VPN 10. I'm adding a new interface, and for that I'm going to attach the new Vrrp feature template that we have created. So that is VPN 10 Vrrp template. So I think rest everything is going to be same. I'm going to create that. So now my Vrrp device template is ready. It is not yet attached, so I'm going to attach it now. So that I'm going to attach to VH2 and VH22. So that is attached. So first let's go to VH2, edit this. What are the details that we need to enter? We will enter here. So there are few entries already there, it taken from previous template. Now we have to give the interface name for VPN 10. I always use gigi0/1, and we can check that in the topology also. Gigi0/1, and you can see for VH2, the IP address for VPN 10 is 10.2, 172.168.10.2. /24, and the group ID I will give 10, and this is the VIP address, the virtual address that I'm going to give 10.1. So what we added is this, these are the details: 172.168.10.1 as the VIP address, then the group ID, then the interface IP address for VPN 10, then the interface name, and site ID it's already taken 12, system IP, VH2, these are WAN interfaces, this is the management interface IP. So this we can update. Now we are going to VH22. So in VH22, you can see the site ID is same, because we have to keep the same site ID for both this VH22 and VH2, because they are running VRP between them. So in a SD1 overlay topology, we can identify if two VH devices having same site ID, it means they are located in the same site, same location, like that. So now the interface name for VPN 10, I will always give gigi0/1, and the IP address we can confirm that. So interface is gigi0/1, IP address is 172.168.10.3. 172.168.10.3/24. Then the group I've given 10, and VIP address is .1. So that's it. So both are done. Now we are going to apply this. So under VPN 10, you can see the Vrp 10 and its IP address got added. That will be your config difference also. Yeah, under VPN 10, under gigi0/1, and you can see the IP address is getting changed. We given .2 now. No shutdown, full duplex, Vrp, and then this IP address. Now VH22. Let's take a queue. So here also we can check. It is adding Vrp 10 and IPv4 address for the same virtual IP address 10.1. Yeah, it's same 10.1. So now I'm going to give configure so that it will get the configuration changes on two devices. So it is in progress now. So the config is validated, and you can see it is successfully pushed to VH2 and successfully pushed to VH22. So now we will go and check the Vrp status. So now we will check the Vrp status. We have to go to monitor, networks. Let's select the VH2, and in the bottom you have the real time where you can run the commands. So in the device option, just type Vrp. It will give you the Vrp information. So this is for VPN ID 10, and the VIP you can see the virtual IP 10.1, the virtual MAC you can see, and this state is backup, priority is 100, and OMP state up. Now same thing we can check for VH22. For VH22 is the master, you can see. Okay, so now the same thing we will verify in CLI also. Show Vrp. You can see VH2 is acting as backup, and the VIP address is 10.1 priority, and the Vrp state is backup. Now VH22 show Vrp. You can confirm it is the VIP address. It is acting as master. Now, and then we can check the TCP dump for VPN 10 interface 0/1. So you can see the Vrp advertisement packets are coming every second as expected with the group ID, the priority value, everything.